She married a disabled black man, but a big surprise awaited her at the wedding night. The room glowed with golden light as guests rose to their feet, applause echoing like thunder across the elegant hall. Flowers draped every pillar, laughter danced between chandeliers, and at the center of it all stood Vanessa Grant, a stunning young woman in white lace, her smile brighter than anything she had ever worn. Across from her, seated in a sleek black wheelchair, was Daniel Walker, 32, eyes locked on hers like she was the only person in the room. Vanessa gently slid the ring onto his finger, her hands trembling slightly, not from fear, but from the overwhelming tide of emotion washing through her. For a moment, they simply stared at one another. No movement, no sound, just memory. Because this wedding, this love, wasn't born from fairy tales. It was born from blood, sacrifice, and a moment that should have ended in tragedy. 1 year earlier, it had been raining for hours. Thunder cracked across the sky like it was splitting the heavens open. Vanessa, drenched, clutched her bag to her chest as she darted across a dimly lit street. Her shift at the restaurant had ended late. She was exhausted. Her umbrella had flipped inside out and flown into traffic. The crosswalk light blinked red, but she was too tired to care. She stepped forward and never saw the truck. But someone else did. Daniel, just a stranger then, had been walking back from his job at a small community center nearby. He saw the headlights, heard the roar of the engine, and without hesitation, he ran. Vanessa was mid-step when arms slammed into her, knocking her off the road. She hit the concrete hard, but alive. The truck screeched, metal crunched. Daniel's body hit the hood and was thrown like a rag doll. He lay motionless in the rain, blood pooling around his leg. Vanessa crawled to him, sobbing, "Why? Why would you do that?" Through gritted teeth and pain-laced gasps, Daniel whispered, "Can't let something happen to someone worth saving." She didn't leave his side after that, not once. During the months that followed, Vanessa visited him in the hospital every day. They talked, laughed, cried. She learned he was a former track athlete, now working as a youth counselor. He lived alone. He never asked for help, but always gave it. His spine injury left him unable to walk. Vanessa didn't care. She brought books, movies, helped him adjust to his wheelchair, learned how to help without pitying. He teased her about how bossy she was. She teased him about his old sneakers he refused to throw out. Eventually, the visits turned to dates. The dates turned to love. The love turned into a proposal that shocked everyone around them. Her friends raised eyebrows. "You're too young to take on that kind of responsibility." Some even dared to whisper, "Are you sure this isn't just guilt?" But Vanessa never wavered, because she knew something none of them did. Daniel didn't save her once. He saved her again and again, from hopelessness, from emptiness, from a life that felt directionless, until he gave it purpose. And now, on their wedding day, as she stood across from the man who once couldn't even sit up without help, now full of life, confidence, and fire, she felt proud. As they shared their first kiss as husband and wife, the room erupted again. But behind every smile in that room, only Vanessa and Daniel knew what it took to reach this moment. A man who gave up everything to save her, and a woman who gave him back the world in return. Still, what Vanessa didn't know was that Daniel had been hiding something, not out of fear, not out of shame, but out of love. And tonight, in the quiet stillness of their wedding suite, He planned to reveal a secret that would leave her speechless. The applause had faded. The laughter, the dancing, the joyful toasts had all been packed away with the silverware and centerpieces. Now it was just Vanessa and Daniel alone in their honeymoon suite. She stood at the mirror, slowly removing the last of her makeup. Her wedding dress hung delicately over the back of a chair. Daniel sat across the room in his wheelchair, quiet, still in his tux, his eyes on her, not with desire, but with something deeper, gratitude, awe, something that trembled just beneath the surface. Vanessa turned toward him, smiling. "You okay?" He nodded, but his voice cracked slightly. "More than okay." She crossed the room slowly, knelt in front of him, and placed her hand on his. "I meant what I said earlier," she whispered. "I don't care what we have or don't have. I love you exactly as you are." He looked at her, eyes glassy. "I know." Vanessa rose and moved to help him out of his jacket, but he gently stopped her. "Wait," he said softly. "There's something I need to show you first." She paused. "What is it?" Daniel reached down beside the chair, pulling out a small black folder. He handed it to her. Inside were medical scans, documents, and progress reports dated months back. Vanessa frowned, confused. "Therapy," she whispered, scanning the words. "Rehabilitation. Spinal stimulation." Daniel exhaled slowly. "They told me not to get my hopes up, but after everything you did for me, after you said yes to me without expecting anything, I decided to try." She blinked. "Try what?" He didn't answer. Instead, he placed his hands on the armrests and slowly, shakily, began to push upward. Vanessa's breath caught. His legs, stiff and trembling, moved just enough to shift weight. Then, like a miracle, Daniel stood up, unstable, not perfect, but standing. Vanessa stumbled backward, hands over her mouth. Tears poured down her cheeks. "How? You said you weren't sure if—" "I wasn't," Daniel said, voice shaking. "For months, I've been working in secret. I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want this." He gestured to the ring on her hand. "To be about hope or progress. I needed to know your love wasn't tied to whether I could stand or not." He smiled, blinking tears away. "And now I know. You married me when I couldn't. You believed in me when I didn't." Vanessa rushed forward, arms wrapping around him tightly. "You don't have to prove anything to me." "I know," he whispered, "but I wanted to give you this, just once, to stand beside you like you stood beside me." They stood there, holding each other, weeping softly into one another's shoulders, grateful, overwhelmed, transformed. She rested her head on his chest. "I married a man who saved my life," she said, "and tonight he did it again." Later that night, Daniel returned to his wheelchair, exhausted but smiling as Vanessa tucked the therapy papers back into the drawer. He turned to her and asked, "Does this change anything?" She shook her head. "No," she whispered. "It just makes the story better." They lay down together, not as a wife and a disabled husband, not as victim and savior, but as two souls who had saved each other in different ways, at different times, with the same kind of love, steady, selfless, unshakable. And somewhere in the quiet night, as their fingers intertwined beneath the sheets, Vanessa whispered one last promise. "Whether you walk, roll, or fly, I'll be beside you, always." If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more emotional, dramatic, and unexpected tales. And let us know in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? We love hearing from all of you. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and keep watching.